And now, marine weather around Alaska.
Coastal wind forecasts here, small craft advisories with that next system coming up. Southeast winds here on the south coast increasing to 25 knots, with seas building toward 10 feet, southeast 15 on the central coast, and then light east to southeasterlies at 10 knots for the north coast with 6-foot seas. Lynn Canal, Glacier Bay, Stevens Passage. Winds will be southeast for Saturday at 15 knots with 3-foot seas. And for Clarence Strait, small craft advisories. Southeast wind 30 knots, seas 9 feet. And then for Sunday, for the south coast here, south winds 10 to 15 knots, east-northeast at 15 on the central coast. And then light west breeze on the north side there at 10 knots with 5-foot seas. Lynn Canal, Glacier Bay, Stevens Passage, Clarence Strait, all of the inside channels and waters will be looking at basically a south wind at about 10 knots, seas running 2 to 3 feet. Prince William Sound, variable wind tomorrow, 10 knots, seas 2 feet. North Gulf Coast, variable winds 10 to 15 knots, 5-foot seas, east at 15 for the Barren Islands with 4-foot seas, southeast 15 for Kamishak Bay. And for Cook Inlet, southwest wind 20 knots, seas 5 feet. For the day on Sunday, Cook Inlet, south to southwest wind 10 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet. Barren Islands, Kamishak Bay, southeasterlies at 15 knots with 4-foot seas. North Gulf Coast, southwest at 15, seas 5 to 6 feet. And Prince William Sound, wind southwest at 10 knots with 2-foot seas. And for Kodiak Island, for the day on Saturday, variable to northeasterlies at 10 to 15 knots. Variable at 10 knots for the Alaska Peninsula. South at 10 for Bristol Bay with 1-foot seas. And for Bristol Bay on Sunday, southeast wind 15 knots, seas 1 foot. Variable winds 10 to 15 knots for the Alaska Peninsula with 1 to 4-foot seas. Kodiak Island, variable winds 10 to 15 knots, seas up to 5 feet. For the Fox Islands, Adak and Atka included. In other words, central eastern Aleutians, variable winds at 10 knots for the day Saturday. Seas only 2 to 5 feet. And for the western Aleutians, winds will be northwest at 15 knots with 5 to 6-foot seas. For Sunday, for the western Aleutians, southwesterlies at 20 knots. Otherwise, from Adak all the way over to Unalaska Island, light variable winds at 10 knots. And for the southwest coast, light variable winds 5 to 10 knots for tomorrow. North at 10 for St. Lawrence Island. And a light northwest breeze at 10 knots for Norton Sound. Pribilof Island, St. Matthew Island, light winds with slight seas. And for the Pribilofs on Sunday, variable wind at 10 knots, south 20 knots for St. Matthew Island with that front to the west there, kicking the winds up a little bit, seas up to 5 feet, south at 10 knots for the Kuskokwim Delta Coast, Yukon Delta Coast, west at 10, Norton Sound, St. Lawrence Island, light wind out of the north at 10 knots. Eastern Beaufort Sea coast tomorrow, actually the eastern and central coast, east winds at 10 knots with seas in the ice-free waters to 2 feet. Northeast 10 for the western Arctic coast and the Chukchi Sea, west winds 10 to 15 knots. And then for the day on Sunday, for the Chukchi Sea, winds picking up a little bit from the south at 15 to 20 knots. Same thing for the western Arctic coast, south at 15. Seas building to 3 to 4 feet in all these areas here. And for the central coast, southeast at 10, east wind 10 knots for the eastern Beaufort Sea coast.